Hi, guys. Okay, this is going to be a shorter intro because I'm recording this on my lunch break of like a weekend long coaching retreat after having a crazy week. And I'm really trying to practice and model the well being that I think is so important and talk to clients about so much. And that includes for me being like, yeah, I'm not going to overextend myself today. So this gets to be a shorter one and that's just fine. And that's, so much of what we get to talk about on this podcast is like getting to just really like accept and be with where we are, which is sometimes different than where we want to be. So all that said, I'm so excited for this conversation with Sutanya. We do her intro like later on into the conversation. So just to sort of ground the conversation, um, Sutanya is an incredible author and chef and founder of Dinner for One, which is this thing in Paris or now international or in Europe and soon to be international, where she hosts these dinners solely for single women. And she cooks these elaborate meals, and these women have this like gorgeous evening of just being like taken care of and in community. And you have to be single to be a part of it. And Sutanya moved to Paris in a relationship. She got a divorce. That divorce led to her having her own experience of like cooking for herself and taking care of herself, and then writing her book, Dinner for One, and then ultimately creating Dinner for One. So this conversation is like really beautiful around reinvention, about like getting to be who you are, about like how fucking cool women are. I really, really love this conversation and just sort of want to like preemptively introduce her. And then the last thing I want to talk about in this little intro, and it's maybe just the gift of having been sitting in like sort of transformational work all weekend, is just my reminder of how much I don't believe, and all the work I get to do and all the different trainings I get to have reinforce this, that like I just don't believe in slapping like transformation on top of like our human experience. And I think that's so much of what is my thesis of this entire project. The transformation and the healing comes from actually also letting myself be with like how hard it is to feel behind, or wishing things were different, or wishing I was further along, versus just being like, oh, I'm going to go have a different experience and it's all going to be okay. Like feels flat and like not in reality. And also, we get to be committed to the things we want to build and how we want to show up differently in our lives. And I want to be committed to like getting to start over again and again and again, and getting to express myself at any age and in any stage of life, and getting to like share all these beautiful stories and conversations with people, with you who have had, a breadth of experience and shifts and changes in their own lives. And so I just, we're in this world of TikTok where everything's simplified and it's like 5 ways to change your life. And I'm so reminded, and I feel so lucky that I get to do this work that brings me back over and over again to like, here's all the tools and ways we do get to grow and transform. And also that belongs side by side with really honoring um, our fears, our pain, our disappointment. Um, we don't just like magically change overnight. And I love to remind myself of that over and over again. And that so much of this work is really like, I say it always, like self-acceptance over self-improvement, but that the goal is like, for me, is to widen the aperture of how human I can be, and widen the aperture of how much of myself gets to belong and how much of other people gets to belong, instead of narrowing what are good and bad emotions and right or wrong feelings, or right and wrong ways of doing something. Um, and so with that, I'll just also include, because I contain multitudes, that I'm just really fascinated by, I was watching Off Campus, because obviously I was, and very different than Heated Rivalry, which as we all know, I believe is a true work of art. But I'm really just like amazed by the capturing of the imagination that these adaptations of romance novels is having on so many people and so many women. And it is just I'm going to try to write about this more thoughtfully, but it's just my like reminder and pitch to you guys that like, if you loved Summer I Turned Pretty, if you loved Heated Rivalry, if you're watching Off Campus, go read more smutty novels. There's so much more there. There's so much yearning, so much bravery, so much vulnerability, so much sexiness. You're not watching something, you're reading a book. You get to imagine these characters. It's just like it's so fun to watch people loving something that I've loved for a really long time. Felt earlier to that party, may I just say. Gonna have some more conversations about romance novels and like this part of my enjoyment in a few episodes, but that's just my little cultural pitch for the week. And also, if you want to know what my type is, I have not had a like childlike high school, middle school celebrity crush like the one I have on Belmont Cameli since like Scott Speedman and Felicity. And I just think you all should know that. So that's my little rant on self-acceptance, on letting a lot of different things belong, on being exactly where we are. I am in my sweatpants if you're watching. I'm going to go back to my training. And I am so excited for you guys to listen to this episode. Love y'all. Bye. Welcome, Sutanya, to Late to the Party. Hi, guys. You are a author.
Ça c'est correct.
You have been a podcast host in your own right.
Oui, madame.
And you are the founder and creator and marketer and chef and all things that relate to Dinner for One.
Yes, ma'am.
Which I love how I could describe Dinner for One, but I love how you describe Dinner for One. Can you give us
gosh. It's so funny. I've been reworking that because on one hand, I love the fact that I speak to single women because in a way of saying like, you're okay just as you are. Like this isn't a place where I'm going to like give you tips on how to be like a better woman or a better potential partner or a better daughter or a better like whatever you do for your job. Like I'm here to tell you like, you're fine as you are as a single woman living your life. Also food. Oh, by the way, I know it's going to sound obnoxious, but I've lived in France for a long time. So I do sprinkle little Frenchisms into my speech in my conversations. And I'm really sorry. My friends at home hate it.
I think part of the practice of this podcast is just like we are who we fucking are. And
true.
Like
but
trying to model not
I don't want like someone being like, who the fuck is this? Girl,
Sophie's friends in Paris are pretentious.
Right? Like, girl, that New York accent is coming out real strong, talking about Sava, Sava. So while on one hand, I don't want to shy away from or like feel like I'm moving away from speaking primarily to single women and creating content for single women and creating experiences for single women. There is something about being in a relationship as well and not forgetting yourself and taking the time to do things for yourself. And even whether you're a mom, whether you're married and a parent or you're just in a relationship, you should also take the time out to like take yourself out for a meal or cook something for yourself or just love up on yourself. So I'm trying to like
figure it out.
Yeah, balance that. But for now, what I have is Dinner for One is a home for single women to experience, celebrate, and redefine being alone. And my little manifesto is, I feast on food made with love for myself, always deserving care. I rewrite the narrative of singlehood with pride and agency, not pessimistic about the future, but grounded and grateful in the present. I return to myself again and again. I am here. I am seen. I am worthy.
Ugh. I'm obsessed.
That's my manifesto.
I love it. Well, thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
I think it's so cool. I love that you shared it because I think like we get to see people out in the world. Like all we see are people's outsides and we see like the product of whatever is going on behind the scenes. But I think we so often, at least I'll speak for myself. Sometimes I can get trapped in my own like terminal uniqueness that it's harder for me than it is for other people. Or that it's less work for me than it is for other people. And so I see you have this incredible thing month after month. You have women in your home. You've had this business now for like years. We were just talking about this before we started recording, but like you've gone through every phase of like doing the new thing, getting used to do it, being in the fundamentals of it, getting into a rhythm, then getting to the stage where it's less precious over and over again. Now you're building, now you're doing new things. And I think getting to read something like that, it's like such a good reminder of just like what is happening behind the scenes that we are all doing in our own way to be like, okay, what is my guiding force? Okay, what is the next thing I want to work? Okay, actually, what's my
like and how do I feel doing it?
Yeah,
like I love Dinner for One, and I love what I'm building. And if I didn't, then I wouldn't have been able to make all the sacrifices that I have. Like I haven't been to Italy in a year. You're gonna be like, all right, girl. No, but seriously, it's not
already. No. Already, by the way, I did like a recording the other day, and I was like blossoming and like growing for me. And like I decided to come to Paris.
God, people are gonna be like, ma'am,
like,
ma'am, you already live in Paris, and you're like, I haven't been to Italy in a year. No, but it's so close.
No, but
it's also not expensive.
You've created a life for yourself out of like real joy and purpose and intention, where now you do get to have access to things like that because that is what matters to you.
Yeah, and I didn't choose, the stability of like a regular 9 to 5 all the time. I mean, I still freelance. Is how I make a living because Dinner for One doesn't pay me. But even then, I've been like slowing down the freelancing and really focus on Dinner for One. So I'm making all these sacrifices, like not going on the vacations. Like I haven't gone shopping in like the last time. Okay, I haven't gone shopping in a long time for me because I love clothes. The last time I went shopping,
you're my mono-free influence.
Yeah. The last time I went shopping was in January. I had to buy a new pair of jeans for a photo shoot, but I sacrificed that $50 because I had to do it for this photo shoot. But like, yeah, if I didn't love what I was doing, all this wouldn't be worth it. And I have like, an idea of what I want Dinner for One to become. I have dreams, but that might not happen. Yeah. But I will still be really happy with what I built. Actually, yesterday, I did this old timeline thing. I posted on Instagram, and I looked at it and I was like, you know what, girl? You are right.
Yeah.
I'll show it to you.
Wait, I'm obsessed. Okay, so this says, I'm going to read this for everyone. Dinner for One, Chapter 1, 2018 podcast launch. 2022, a first book published. Low key just has a memoir published with HarperCollins. No big deal. Called Dinner for One. 2022, the Supper Club launched. 2022 to present, you've had 34 dinners, over 200 guests. Yeah. 2023, you did your first pop-up, which essentially means you did Dinner for One at a restaurant.
Yeah, so anyone could come. It's not just single women.
2023 till now, you've done 7 more pop-ups. 2024, you did your first international event in Milan, in Italy. 2025, you launched your newsletter called Things to Munch On.
Get it?
Everyone subscribe, baby. I'll put it in the show notes. 2026, the inaugural product line sold out in 2 hours. All right, girl. 2026, the first Dinner for One Supper Club tour, April and May. It's going to be in Munich, Marseille, and London. And now you're moving. Dude, this is so cool. And I think so important to remember.
It's been almost 10 years.
Like the diligence that takes to stay committed to something. And like, also I think, again, I'll just say for myself, it's like, I want to do the hard thing once and then be like, where's my fucking cookie?
Me too, girl.
Like, this shit takes time.
It takes time.
But also, I will do the thing of like, okay, I did the thing, on to the next. Okay, I did the thing, on to the next. And I have to remind myself over and over and over again, look at how different, look at what you've done. Look at what from this time to like from last year to now, from 5 years ago to now. Like you set out to do something and you fucking did it. You said like a year ago, I came to Paris, or no, a year and a half. A year ago, I came to Paris, didn't know anyone, and was like, it was the biggest deal in the world to me that I was leaving for 2 months. I agonized. Could I possibly, what was like?
And now here you are with friends, going to London.
And I don't think, it's just a part of my life and I'm working for, right? But like, it's like now you're like, okay, I think it's so important and so cool to acknowledge like what you've built as you're also now being like, I want to fucking do more.
Yeah. Yeah. Acknowledging what you built and also just accepting that it takes time and, it's going to come up on 10 years. And like, I hope something big, not big, but something significant happens that gives me the motivation to keep going. But there's a lot of like, you just got to stick it out. You got to be consistent.
Well, so this is a good segue because you said a minute ago, you were like, I have really big dreams for dinner for one, and I don't know if they're going to happen.
I don't know.
And I think that's actually like a really interesting conversation to me that I don't think we talk about a lot. And like for 30-second context, and I'll make sure to intro it because we're far into the conversation now. But like one of the things I love that you do for dinner for one, you have 5 to 6 women over at your house every month.
You were 8? Yes.
You were 8.
Yeah, it's getting bigger.
Okay, it's getting bigger.
Yeah, it's getting much bigger.
Only single women are invited,
women.
which I gotta be honest, I'm obsessed with as a single woman who like, look, I love my friends of all different walks of life.
Me too.
But there's a lot of, it's mostly spaces that I feel like I don't belong in. And it's very hard to find other women where like, I was talking about this with our mutual friend, Gabby, like, no one's throwing me a party for traveling by myself. No one's throwing me a party for paying my own rent. No one's and we're going to all these parties,
all the things,
for the babies and the
your kids' birthdays, the weddings, the bachelorettes, the housewarmings, the
and to celebrate all the things that are worth celebrating in a society that like often doesn't. So fucking cool.
Thank you.
And I think, I think we can talk about have big dreams, you're worthy of your dreams, or people can say it's going to be really hard. And like, I find that I see most conversations fall into either the category of like, Delulu is the Salulu and just like be delusional and like chase your dreams, baby. Or I see like people being hyper realistic. I mean, like, it's going to be so hard and don't take too many risks. And I don't know that we talk that much about the both and.
Yeah. I mean,
dream fucking big.
Dream big and then you'll see what happens. Like when I started the podcast, I thought it was going to be an 8-season like 1 season, 8 episodes, not 8 season, 8 episode season. That's what I thought it was going to be because I was like, all right, I'm divorced now. Shit, that sucks. So I came to Paris because I was married to a Frenchman that I met at a bar in New York the night before he's coming back to Paris. And the night before I was going back to Connecticut because I was in grad school in Connecticut. Fell in love, blah, 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 got married, got divorced, whatever. Listen to the podcast, read the story, read the book to get all the information.
I know. I'm like, I could do that. Honestly, go listen to her episode of Clashes or our plug for our friends podcast. You talk about it there too.
It was a good episode.
And go buy the book
and buy the book. And do all the things, do all your research if you're interested. And so I started this podcast because I'm a Black woman living in Paris. And every single story I heard about Black American women in Paris featured the same characters with the same story. They all lived in the 6th. They all had like 300 square meter apartments. They had like beautiful husbands named Guillaume. They had these perfect little Franco-American kids, and they had a country house, and they fucking ate croissants all day and never got fat and didn't work. And I was just like, what is going on? Like, I know that my reality is not that unique, right?
Yeah.
Not even in Paris, just like all over the world. Like there are people all over the world who have moved somewhere for love, made big changes for love, and it didn't work out. And so I decided to just open my big New York mouth and talk about it. And so it was part therapy, part just like, I'm going to add my story to the American in Paris narrative because it's worthy of being shared. And I thought that was going to be it. But then I loved it so much. And I loved sharing, just kind of like, okay, at the time I was in my early 30s, what is this experience like? And it resonated with a lot of people. And then like petit à petit, like little by little, it just started growing. And I just listened to myself. And like, what do I want to do next? That was it, really.
What is it? I mean, I think it's so interesting when like, I didn't actually feel like my story, like I wasn't hearing my story anywhere else. And I think that this is an interesting thing. Like it's been so interesting, like doing this, like the minute I was like, it feels so scary to me to, again, go back to like, we're alone in our own heads all day long. But like, I was like, oh, it's so easy for me to be like, it's harder for me, or I'm the only one who feels this way. And then the minute you share it, There's like 10 other people that
Yeah.
go, oh my God, me too. Thank you.
Yeah. So
I'm
much.
so
Yeah.
relieved you said it out
Yeah.
loud. What was the experience like for you once you did start telling that story?
Um, it was interesting. There were two things. One, there was a lot of that. A lot of like, oh wow, yeah, like I was divorced, or like I'm going through a breakup, or like I'm thinking about leaving my partner. Like, isn't it crazy? And I'm so young, and like I'm supposed to beginning my life, and now I feel like it's
Yeah.
ending because who gets divorced at 30 or
Yeah,
31? You
yeah,
know what I
yeah.
mean? So there was that, and there was another thing, and I didn't realize this until years later. It was the same. I really started to feel this way when the book came out. Was I started distancing myself
Mm.
from that story of being like a failed marriage, failed wife, failed
Mm.
woman, failed human being by putting that onto other people. Like you take all my trauma and you sit with it now. No, but really, but just being like, just having no shame around it.
Yeah.
Like for a long time, I was very much ashamed of being divorced and my marriage not working and not being like the good enough wife and not being like the good enough partner. Or that's what I told myself at least. Um, and that when you read it, when you read my book, you will discover how I coped with that, which wasn't very healthy. But doing this podcast and then writing the book really helped me like release that shame because I had nothing to hide anymore. Like my book is very raw. I had nothing to hide anymore.
Yeah.
So I released myself
But
from
isn't
it.
that just like it's like the minute you name the thing and you say the thing out loud that you're scared, it's like, I don't want anyone to find out this one part of me. This will make me unlovable. You say it out loud. It's like they say in like 12-step work, like you're only as sick as your secrets. And it's like, that's why we can't do so much of this work by ourselves. It's like you share it, you name it, like the tension dissipates from it.
150%. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like,
And it doesn't feel so like, it doesn't feel like it's a weight anymore, right? It doesn't feel like it's something that you have to carry. Like I stopped carrying this. Like I felt like it was literally like just like suffocating me.
Yeah. I've been thinking about this a lot in like my own life right now. Particularly right now, it's coming up in dating for me, but like how these like stories we have about ourselves, like most of the time to keep ourselves fucking safe.
Yeah.
Like, but how they ultimately like hold us back. What happens when we start changing our stories about ourselves? I'm curious, like as you were disentangling yourself from this like story you had of like I failed or I'm a failure because my marriage failed or I was a bad wife, all these things. What did that give you? Like what did you notice as that story shifted in your own life?
You mean in how I treated myself or like
In
what the story was or
anything?
Well, I started treating myself with more kindness and care and respect. That's what Dinner for One came from, right? Like I started once I needed to take a sabbatical from my partying and my French minute of it all and my smoked cigarettes of it all. And so I started making these little dinners for myself. And with every dinner, I would just tell myself like, okay, if you can do this at least a couple times a week, you're going to be okay. And it became just such a nice ritual and such a nice thing to do to like set the table. And I'm lucky enough to live in a neighborhood where like, I have my butcher, I have my fishmonger, I have all the things. So I go to little shops and I get the little things and I buy like my groceries from the greengrocer and I would make dinner. And it was just like a little moment for me of doing something so kind and something so thoughtful and nice for myself. So déjà, the first thing was I can take care of myself. I'll be okay. And the second thing was realizing, well, I'm divorced, correct, but I'm 30, 31. So, how old was I? Yeah, like 30, 31, I don't know, something like that. And I ain't got no kids with that man. So, I mean, the world's my oyster. And I've already like, done it. Like, and I was talking to a friend's brother about it. And he was like, oh my God, I think being a young divorcee is so chic. Like you got one, like you done, like you did it. And you were like, not for me. And you said, no, you said you said LOLJK.
Yeah.
Let's start over. Control Alt Delete.
I'm obsessed with that. Honestly, it is kind of chic.
Yeah.
Like, because then you're like, you go in with a level of like, it's like you could do a job interview
Yeah.
and it's like when they can smell when you don't need the job.
Voilà, exactly. And also the thing is, I think the greatest thing that my divorce has given me is a realism about relationships and like how important it is not to take your partner for granted, if you're very much in love and if the
Yeah.
relationship is working, because I understand that relationships can end. I think a lot of people do crazy shit to people that they actually care about,
Yep.
even if they're no longer in love with them, but they don't want to disentangle because it's tough, and they don't want to hurt the other person, and they don't want to, you know, leave their familiar hell.
Yeah.
So they twist and shape themselves into all these different, configurations to fit whatever life that they should be living. Because they just, and they do crazy shit to hurt the other person because they just don't realize that a relationship can end. Even if you've been together for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, if you gave up your life and moved for that person, if you did all the things, check A, B, C, D, relationships can end.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know, it just made me when I got into relationships after my divorce and they were working until they didn't, just appreciating the person and not taking them for granted. I think that's what a lot of people do in their relationship. So there's that. And then the other side of it, when a relationship ends, like, it's okay. Like, it was like the both sides of the same coin, right? Like, I was like, relationships can end no matter how much you're in love, no matter how much you care, no matter how much you've configured yourself to like fit, whatever is going to make the other person happy, they can end. And then the other side of that coin is be sad. It's normal to be sad. But you're going to be all right. And you're going to meet somebody else and you're going to get a crush again. And you don't know how long it's going to take, but you'll make out with somebody again.
Yeah. I mean, look, I think one of my greatest theses in life is like usually like, life is just like things falling apart and coming back together and things falling apart over and over and over again. And like, obviously I've been through like, I've lost a lot of shit. And so I'm not saying I want any of those things to happen or wish they had happened or you like, are, cool. So glad I got
so happy.
So stoked I got divorced. But I also think like, I think I've said this, but it's like I have like a reverence for the annihilation. I'm like annihilation. I sat at lunch with a friend today and I was like, yeah, I got annihilated. She goes, you just said that with such a smile on your face. Because I do think it's like, when I was thinking about this podcast, I was like, oh, it's gonna be so cool to talk to people about like what had to fall apart in order for you to grow into something new. And what I hear you say is like, it's like, yes, you learned how to hopefully the next time
be a better,
not have something fall apart.
Not have something fall apart, and then also understand.
But also be like, if it falls apart, I'm not
then
gonna
it's okay.
die.
Yeah. If it falls apart, I'm not gonna, it's not the end of the world. I might feel like it in that moment. And that's also like, okay. I think it's when I hear I hate to say this, I can't believe when I hear young people, but when I do hear young people talk about relationships, I'm just like, it breaks my heart.
Yeah.
Because there's falling in love, having a crush, yearning for someone, some of the greatest pleasures in life, right? And to not allow yourself to feel that because of what could potentially happen. Yeah. Like to you, it's also like, it could happen to you.
I needed to hear that.
No, it's like it could happen to you or you could do it to somebody else.
Yeah.
Like you can hurt someone. You have the capabilities of like being with someone and he's like, he thinks the fucking, sun shines out of your ass. And after 2-3 months, you're like, ooh, you ain't it.
Yeah.
And then you have to tell him that and you have to see him cry and even wonder why, what did I do wrong? Like you can also hurt someone, but like, so would you not want to experience those 3, 4, 5, 6 months of happiness, bliss, whatever you want to call it, to have this person in your life? And then it just.
Well, and this is how we get closer to love. I was literally saying this to a friend. I was like, I think one of the things I'm working on in dating is like, or in life in general, but with that specifically, it's like, it's so hard for me to communicate honestly when something isn't working for me in either direction, whether it's or not even not working for me, but like to say, I want something from you and risk the rejection and heartbreak if they can't give it. Or alternatively, to be like, you're not giving me what I need and risk hurting the other person. No matter how you swing it, it requires a level of like bravery and courage, but that's also how you have intimacy.
But also, what's the alternative?
You armor your heart and are alone forever.
Voila. What do you want to do? And also the thing is, like, you can't say, and I didn't come up with this, but you can't say the wrong thing to the right person, right?
I say this all that you can't get it wrong with the right person, and you can't get it right with the wrong person.
Yeah, exactly. It's like either, he'll be like, okay, I didn't know that. Good to know. Or he'll, if he has some emotional intelligence, he'll be like, okay, well, like, why do you feel like let's talk it out. What's going on?
Exactly.
And if he's like, I don't want to, then, you have to reevaluate whether or not that person is meant for you. I mean, it's just, it's not, we make it really complicated, and it doesn't have to be like, it's either they're the person for you and they want to be with you and you guys gel, or you don't.
Correct. But I think we all have it's different for everyone. But like for me, it's like, again, I was just talking to a friend about this. It's like that feeling of like, oh, I don't want to feel foolish. Yeah. Or like
your feelings aren't foolish, but also you know when you're feeling foolish. That's the other thing.
But also,
yes, when you're being, we all know when we're being a bit extra.
For sure.
And sometimes it's okay. Like something triggers you and you want to like jump off the couch and be like, maybe take a seat, go outside, sit outside, have a drink, text a friend, scroll a little bit.
Totally.
Sit with it.
Totally.
And then in 10, 15, 20 minutes, if you're still feeling that way, then you send it, then you talk or send a text. I'm saying this to you because I reacted in a way about a certain situation last year. I wouldn't say I regret it, but I allowed my emotions and the confusion I felt in that moment to dictate my behavior. Not the outcome maybe could have been the same, but I didn't sit with the uncomfortable feelings.
Yeah.
And that's what I should have done. And also there is this thing, and maybe some of your listeners might come for me, but sometimes maybe over communicate. We don't have, like, you don't have to know every single feeling. I don't have to know every single feeling. Maybe this is my Virgo.
No.
I just, I mean, sometimes my married friends, like, they'll be like, and I told him, I'm like, why y'all always talking?
Look, I think
why are y'all always talking? Just like, he needs to leave you alone and you need to leave him alone. It's okay.
It's so fun. No, I mean, it's so funny. I also think it's so interesting that was where you went when I said foolishness too, because I'm more thinking, like, me telling a boy I like him makes me feel foolish. And I mean, less so now. But like my work is more to be like, so we're going to hang out again?
Yeah.
Like I think we each have, for some people, it's like, do less, girl. And for some people, it's like, do more, girl. Get over yourself. Like, I can want to like sit back and be like, so cool, so whatever, as like my way of protecting myself. That's like, for what?
Yeah.
For what? What's the worst that's going to happen?
Yeah. Either he says yes or no, or like he might say yes and he's not really feeling it. And then you'll realize that quickly and then you exit stage left.
But also all of this is like a self-worth, self-esteem thing, right? Because the minute like, actually, I don't do it so much anymore because I'm like, I'm not looking at for you to tell me I'm okay, right? Like you talking about like, I let the emotions getting the better of me. It's like, okay, well, there wasn't that ability to sit with the discomfort, right? Of like, I don't like what's happening. I think usually it comes down to us being like comfortable within to be with ourselves.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah,
I agree.
I love that you're like, my friends should talk less.
Yeah, I mean, God damn. It's like, y'all talking, y'all saying the same thing. So, I mean, it's the same thing over and over and over again. So, like I don't know. Yeah. Just talk less.
So what's dating like for you now?
What is dating like for me? As a 40-year-old woman, I turned 40 last year, which is wild. I still can't believe it. Because I don't look it. No.
I mean, you don't look it. They can see you on this camera. They know.
I'm not dating anyone currently. I would like to.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people think with the whole dinner for one thing, I'm very like anti-romance or anti-man, which is I'm heterosexual, so I date men. I'm anti-romance or anti-man, and that could be further from the truth. I'm very much a lover girl. It's just I haven't met anyone yet. So yeah, I mean, I'd like to date, but I haven't. I don't go on dating apps. I don't believe in them.
Wait, say more about that.
Dating apps are multi-million, billion-dollar companies. they are interested in making a profit. How do they make a profit? People using the app. It is not in their best interest for you to actually meet someone. Yes, and a broken clock is right twice a day. So yes, you hear the stories of people meeting and marrying and falling in love,
Yeah.
of having kids, blah, 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 blah. Sure. They're one in a fucking million. Because if they really cared about you meeting someone, you would go on an app for a week, 2 weeks, tops, meet someone you would date at least for a significant period of time, at least a year, 2 years maybe. And so you wouldn't be on the app. And then, but if you're not on the app, they don't have any,
Well, they
don't get
wouldn't
any
put your
money.
best matches behind a paywall. They'd put your best matches most accessible to you. No, I mean, like, it's so real.
And also, are your best matches behind a paywall? Because people pay for it, and they're still meeting shitty people.
Yeah.
So it's like something's broken, and is it broken on purpose? Do they shadow ban some, some profiles where people are like sane? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I don't know how it works behind the scenes.
Yeah.
But even think about it. The founder of Bumble, she met her husband in real life.
I know. It's so interesting.
You know what I mean?
It's
So, like,
so
I
interesting
just-
because I like went off the apps almost completely.
Yeah.
And have been meeting people in real life, like
Yeah.
more so than I ever
Yeah.
have. When I came here, I went back on the apps. But because I've been meeting people in real life, I'm noticing I'm engaging on the apps differently. And that's eliciting a different, like I'm having way more interesting conversations and meeting more people in the world. But I also think that what's happened is now it's a chicken and egg thing where like the apps deliberately want to keep us apart, but then now it's changed human psychology around dating, and there's like these shifts happening where the swipe culture, where there's always another
There's
option,
always another
where there's
option, yeah.
always it's like you don't actually ever really get to. I think there's some people who actually like it's changed their ability to be like, I like what's in front of me.
Yeah, and this flawed person is okay.
Yeah.
They're more than enough. Like
Yeah.
yes, they're not. If I have 10 things on my list, they don't hit.
Yeah.
It's not a 10 out of 10. It's a 7 out of 10 or 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
It's fine. Instead of being okay with that,
Yeah.
they're like, wait, if she's a 7 out of 10, I know I can get the 10 out of 10. Well, then they're just not someone I'm going to date.
Yeah,
like that's the other
exactly.
thing. I'm not like there are a lot of things about me that I hope that I grow out of, mature into. But a lot of who I am is who I am. And if you, sir, are looking for your 10 out of 10 and it's not me, no matter how much I like you, no matter how much you like me, if I'm not it, then I'm not it.
Yeah.
And that's it. And you go find her and leave me the hell alone and don't terrorize me.
But that's,
You know what I mean?
That's like, but then again, that's also like the self-worth that comes
Yeah.
with like growing into ourselves and knowing who we are and like a level of self-acceptance and also self-love of like, guess what? I don't want to be with someone that doesn't think I'm a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, exactly. And that's okay. And I also think it's self-worth and self-love, but also the fact of being divorced. Like I was already married. Like I already did the whole thing. Like I went through all the stages of relationships. It's just of a relationship. It's just that once we got to the disillusion, we couldn't, surpass that. And that's where it ended. Most couples that, have long, healthy, happy marriages, they get to the disillusion phase and then they kind of figure it out.
Find their way
And
back out.
we didn't. So I know where this is going, So it's also like I've done the thing. I've had the whole rigmarole.
It's changed your attachment to the
Yeah.
thing.
So I'm just kind of like,
Okay, so you don't believe in dating
I don't
apps.
believe
you
in dating
are
apps.
out dating
I'm
the
on the
world.
streets. I'm in the streets.
How are the streets in Paris?
The streets are fun. Like I said, I've turned 40, but I find that a lot of younger men are like, hey, ma'am. They don't call me ma'am, but in my mind, they're like, hey, ma'am.
Yeah.
And, I need to stop telling them that I'm 40. That's what I need to stop doing.
Stop.
I need to stop doing
In
that.
London this weekend, a like 20-something-year-old
Yeah.
Scottish man asked me out and he told me he was 27. I said, oh, you're a baby. He goes, oh, we're not the same age. I said, no. He goes, are you over 30? I said, there's a 3 in front of the number. That's all I said.
Nice. I like that. I should stop saying I'm 40. I mean, it doesn't deter them,
No.
but I just feel weird. I'm like, babe,
I know.
babe.
Isn't it wild to
It's
like now have hit the age? Because I still think sometimes I'm like a teenager. I mean, I don't.
I still think
but
I'm 32.
Is that the age that you like have in your brain?
I don't want to say some of my best years because a lot can happen in the next couple of years, but the years of my life where I felt most aligned thus far, I felt most aligned with myself. And when I felt the most beautiful and like the most just kind of like the world is my oyster and just felt like I was, super, super duper in alignment with who I am, what I want. I was going to Italy several times a year. It always goes back to Italy.
It always comes back to Italy.
I was between, I think, like 32 and 37, 8.
What was happening in your life in those years that led to you feeling that way?
Everything. It's like Dinner for One, the book, you know, finances were good. Like everything was just, it was just like the perfect storm of really great things. And it slowly, these last 2 years, it's felt like things are falling apart,
Really?
annihilation. And like it's not though, right? It's a perception. It's not because I'm doing all these things, but things that weren't hard before have gotten significantly hard these last 2 years, but I'm slowly crawling out of it.
Can I ask what's feeling harder the last
Well,
2 years?
we were talking about what it's like to build something and
Yeah.
the finances of it all. Like you see these people on Instagram or on social or, other social media or you around people and they're like, yeah, doing this, building that, da, da, da. Do they have a partner helping them?
Yeah.
Do they have investors?
Yeah.
Do they have super duper rich parents? Not just parents who can like, okay, I'm going to throw you, a couple, some, write you a little check, a little tiny check. Like if you have that, that's a huge privilege. I'm talking about parents who can invest like hundreds of thousands of dollars into what you're doing. And it's a drop in the bucket for them. But then, so you have those people and, they can maintain their lifestyle. And then it gets to a point where you have to make a sacrifice. And a lot of that sacrifice is financial. And it's like, if your finances are not in order, it makes the quality of your life really difficult.
Yeah.
That's it. And maybe I have a higher standard of quality because I want to go to Italy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to make
it.
this seem like, I have a roof over my head. I'm eating, like,
no, but
I'm
I
not
understand.
Homeless, and I'm not on the verge of homelessness.
Life was feeling really expansive. And life was feeling quite.
Life was feeling so just. It's like it was even bigger than expansive. It just felt rewarding. Like I felt like the universe was rewarding me because I'd done the hard things and I was putting myself out there. And now I'm kind of wondering, like, universe, like, what's going on? Like, I feel very good. So what's happening?
Yeah.
Why are you mad at Sue? What did Sue do or did not? What did Sue not do?
If only life was that. If only God was like an ATM machine and it worked that way. It doesn't, because I want to be like, I'm getting rewarded for the good things, and it's like that's so not how life works.
But it was also like a different time economically, and like politics were different. Like things were just different. But and I think a lot of that also stems from before when I was doing Dinner for One. I was like little by little doing it. It was fine, but it didn't shape, come to, I didn't have a full idea in my head, like a 360 idea in my head of what I want Dinner for One to become. So I didn't have any, how do you say in English? I didn't have any expectations.
Yeah.
Right? I was just doing this thing that I loved, and it was like,
look at it growing.
Yeah, that's cool. But now I have like my whole pitch deck. I have the whole kit and caboodle. And so it could also be just like I'm putting a lot of pressure on myself. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it just feels like I'm just like, when's it going to happen? Whereas before I was just like, la-di-da-di-da.
Yeah. How are you moving through this time that's like what's working for you? What's not working for you?
What's working for me is, like I showed you, like doing the things like the timeline.
Yeah.
Putting myself out there, like with the Supper Club tour. I thought if I did the right thing, if I was consistent, if I had better like visuals, like a brand or somebody would see me and be like, this is such a great idea what you're doing for one. How do you want to expand? And then I'd be like, funny you asked. I have this whole thing.
Yeah.
And I've just decided to stop asking for permission, just do it myself. So I'm going on the tour thing. And it's so funny because I was looking through, I have this like little notebook next to my, on my bedstand, next to my bed. And I was looking through it. And on December 3rd of 2025, I wrote down like all the things that I wanted. And I was like, one of the things was I want to get the tour funded. So I was looking through today and I saw DFO tour funded, and it's happening, but not the way that I thought it would. I thought it was someone who was going to come and be like, how much you want, baby girl? Here's a check. Instead, baby girl has been like, hey, family, friends, fans, I'm doing this thing. I really want to do it.
Yeah.
I'm asking you to help me for this reason, and making it very clear what I need help with and why.
Yeah.
And it's happening. So I think how I'm navigating this season is by not waiting for permission. And then also like, I'm also going to do my first retreat in the fall, exclusively for single ladies. So it's going to be like Dinner for One Supper Club, but like times 20 in this amazing, on this amazing olive farm in Italy, of course, in Tuscany. It's family run. It's been the family of generations. I love it. It's not asking for permission. And I'm someone of deep, deep faith. So I go to church several times a month.
Yeah.
And just having conversations with God, and just like going to church and being like, listen, I don't know what's going on, but I'm trusting you. This is how I'm feeling. And just leaning into that faith, right? And yeah, that's it, really.
I love that you brought up faith. It's an interesting, because I too believe in God.
Do you?
And I do.
Are you a God-fearing woman?
Oh my God, I love God. But like, you know, I have a very strong spiritual relationship with my higher power of my own understanding, and I've thought about like, oh, am I going to talk about that on the podcast? And what is that? But I think it's like, if that doesn't work for you,
then that doesn't work for you. That's
also
fine.
Call it the universe.
Yeah, call it whatever
life
you
force,
want.
Call it like
call your ancestors.
I've seen things on TikTok like Gus, God, universe, spirit, like you know.
Call him Danny. I don't know. Timmy,
care.
whatever you want to call him.
I have a friend who talks about God being like, she's like, it's my Waymo driver, knows better how to get there than me.
Perfect.
And I'm like, great. But it really works for me. And I think you know, it's like what you're talking about is like, there's this beautiful expression I love of like, I row, God steers. Like I do have to do the rowing.
Yeah, of course.
But it also is like, I don't know how I'm going to get there. And that's what I hear in what you're sharing of like, you know, I can like declare into the void what I want, which takes courage. And then be like, I have no idea what that's going to look like. And I'm willing to try.
I'm going to do the things. I'm going to put myself out there. I'm going to believe in myself. But how, you know, like I said, perfect example. I wrote down on December 3rd, I want to get the DF4 tour funded. I thought by writing that down, what God would do or what the universe would do would like plop someone.
Yeah.
I get an email that's like,
I'm gonna sit up.
Hey girl.
Exactly. No. It's going to come to me.
Instead,
never how it works.
Instead, I had to ask. I had to put myself out there. I had to be super vulnerable. This was the first time since I've started Dinner for One, where I've ever done any sort of crowdfunding. It felt like such, I don't know, it was almost kind of like me declaring it's not working. Not that it's not working, but it was me just asking for help.
Yeah.
You know? After all these years of doing this, but it was something I had to do to get the tour funded, and now my tour is getting funded, and voila.
Yeah. Also, like, I'm just gonna say it. I'm like, who do we know who's listening to this podcast? It's like, okay, so we were.
You want to see my pitch deck?
Okay. No, we were talking about this before we started recording, and it's like, okay, if it's not like a brand funding at all, I am over here, like my little strategist brain is like, okay, so you have these women over for dinner, they're paying them. It's like, who do we know that can give this woman some wine,
something?
like
do you know?
Some candles.
I want to. So I started the podcast in 2018 when before podcasting was this, when it was just like audio, and it wasn't, the space was still quite small. Never got advertising. It was okay, fine, no big deal. Published a book, damn good book, if I may say so myself. Without
this is I'm just gonna plug it. Reminder: read the book.
Without any marketing or like extra marketing or any PR spend. My book was featured in Condé Nast Traveler. It was featured in the New York Times, in The Guardian, in the BBC, Cherry Bomb, all these amazing, Wall Street Journal, and the Supper Club too, like all these amazing publications. I mean, and my book came out in 2022, and I was recently just featured in the French newspaper Libération in 2026.
That's
Like people
so
are
cool.
still talking
Yeah.
about my book and what I do. I was featured in Corriere della Sera, an Italian newspaper.
There she is. There she is.
certo, amore. And
Where's her like 28-year-old
oh
Italian
my God,
man?
get him away from me! But come closer, vieni qui.
We did diverge from the dating. I'm gonna bring us back, but keep going.
And nothing is,
Yeah.
nothing has come from that. Okay,
Yeah.
fine. I keep doing my thing. Done 34 supper clubs, successful supper clubs. Nothing. I have yet to get a plate. I have yet to get wine. I have yet to get tablecloth. I have yet to get anything. Everything is funded by me. But since I've started supper club, this thing that is like recurring, like it's going to happen every month since 2022. So yeah, I haven't gotten anything. So yeah, if anyone wants to send me like a candle.
Also, like, here's the thing.
Like
it's
some
like
tablecloths.
Single women have so much buying power and spend so much money and are the ones going out and, like, let's be real, what man is buying a woman a drink in a bar anymore? Like, it's not happening.
My girls are.
You give the wine to these girls, they'll buy more of the wine. You give the products to these girls, they'll buy more of the products. Like, I'm just saying.
And also, and I do have, if I'm going to continue to plug my audience, if I am going to plug my audience, I am tapped. I don't want to call my audience. That seems so distant. The women that are part of my life.
Yeah.
The women that are part of Dinner for One. These women that I've come to really admire and love and appreciate. They trust me.
Yeah.
They trust me. Because they know we're gonna have a good time. They know I care about them like genuinely and deeply. And they know that I take them and their lives seriously.
Yeah.
I'm not asking them to change something in order to be seen as worthy or to be seen as in order to be visible.
Yeah. This is a really cool thing. I mean, if we're talking about, this concept of like the world we live in and all of these sort of arbitrary timelines that it's like the more I talk to people, I just don't know anyone who doesn't feel behind or like they've missed the boat or like somehow whatever marker is celebrated in our world. And I think very much goes for being single. And I think I'm so curious. This thing is it's not, why are you single? As if that means there's something wrong with you. Absolutely not. Actually, I think.
I don't know. Why are you unhappily married?
It's called being so extraordinary. The pool is tiny, baby. But anyway, I think I'm so curious. Having surrounded your life and built a life where you are with women all the time and fostering a community that is of women who are like powerful and interesting and cool and getting to be with each other and like you were saying, like dancing in your living room till 2 a.m. What have you learned? Like I know you are offering this experience for other women, but what have you gotten from it?
Oh gosh, I don't know. Women are fucking cool.
Women are so cool.
Women are cool. And they're so romantic. Like some of the most romantic gestures that I've ever experienced have been through platonic love from my friends.
Yeah.
And they're always there for me. And I am so grateful for female friendship. And it's funny, I've had this conversation with our mutual friend Gabby before about I think what set me up in my life for Dinner for One and to have these amazing female friendships was the fact that I went to an all-girls Catholic school. And I know that some people have go to all-girls Catholic school and it's a very traumatic experience. And I'm not trying to dismiss that. But my experience was I just, at a time when like hormones are coming into play and like attention from boys, if you're heterosexual, might make you dim yourself or might make you like, the patriarchy really becomes a strong force at that time, right? And during that period of my life, it wasn't about who liked you or who you were dating or what you were wearing. It was about like, how smart are you? Like what extracurricular activities you have? How many friends did you have? And I never view women as competition. I always viewed women as the source of my strength and my comfort and my happiness and my biggest supporters.
Yeah.
And my ride or dies. Like I've never, and I think that is one of the reasons why I have been able to lean into this the dinner for one of it all, and like lean into these friendships and really cultivate them, and also have no problem being vulnerable and have no problem just being me around women. And some not all my friendships have lasted.
Which is okay.
Which is okay. Some friendships have ended.
That's
and
a whole other podcast, but I have so much to say
and
on
that's
that.
fine. But yeah, it's kind of like any relationship. The people that are going to stay are going to stay. People that are going to go are going to go.
Yeah. And I love what you said, because it's this thing of, on the one hand, dinner for one is, what can I do to take care of myself?
Yeah.
Right? Is this sort of source of like my relationship with myself and how I nourish and make things feel beautiful for myself matters. And also, we belong to each other. Like,
So,
it's a both.
Yeah. In my spoiler alert, I'm working on a new book. Well, the proposal. And
I'm so excited.
at the end of the book, at the end of the proposal, I wrote, dinner for one honors the self, and dinner with others reminds us that we're meant to be seen, heard, and held.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. It's twofold. Yeah. So you have the dinner for one. It's like me. I make my pastas. I make my things. I do my things. It's fun. I love it. And the other part of that is caring for other people and letting them know that the same kindness and love you give for yourself, give it to others, and especially women. Especially single women who are rarely doted on or cared for. They give so much and so little is given back to them. Dinner for one is also about giving them a night, a moment where they can just be.
It's so cool. It's so cool. The one thing, I guess the one last thing I'll say to what you were just saying too that I love is, we were talking earlier about dating and like, you're like, I think also so much of this is when you take care of yourself, you can be more accountable and put less of your shit on someone else. And like that then also allows you to show up and be in relationship with other people better. It's like, it really is.
It all stems from, I think it's a thing of like, you like yourself, you listen to yourself, you trust yourself. And then everything flows from there. And it affects every part of your life. Career, romantic, friendship, hobbies, everything. I'm also curious, and maybe this is a bit selfish, I don't know, but I'm very curious to see who I am now in a serious relationship, because it's been such a long time.
Yeah.
Like,
I think about that.
What are my triggers? Like, I kind of know, but I don't know. Like, how are my expectations different now? I think I know, but it's also like, this is all theory, right? Until it's in practice.
No.
So I'm talking all this shit.
No.
Who knows?
Dude,
They're gonna be like, I'm very curious to see who will I be in a relationship, who will I choose, who will choose me.
Okay, now I have to ask you these two questions, only because it's getting dark and then it's just gonna be like a different light.
Yeah.
Okay. First question.
Yes, ma'am.
You can pick any age. It can be you as a kid. It can be when you got divorced. It can be when you started something. It can be any version of yourself. Who is she? What are you saying to her?
I think it would be Sutanya, who lived in Connecticut in grad school, worked in an insurance company, drove a silver Honda Accord, straight hair, bangs. That you're going to leave Connecticut. You're going to go back to New York for a little bit of time, and then you're going to find your home and a place that you love and you feel so good, and no one can ever take it away from you. And I say that because I was born in Jamaica, moved to New York when I was 4 years old, not because I wanted to. I mean, my parents, moved to the States for a better opportunity for them, career, me and my sister, so I left, and I loved Jamaica. I still have so many memories of my family there, my cousins. It was idyllic childhood. And that was ripped away from me. And it was very traumatic. Like, I was depressed. Like, I cried every day until I was like 9 years old.
Yeah.
And then went to school in Connecticut, undergrad and grad school, because university is a thing, and child of immigrant parents, immigrant myself. Like, there was no not going away to university, and there was no not having that American university experience. Love New York. Also, like, plucked away from New York, had to go to Connecticut for school. Okay. And then Paris was like my decision. No one can take it away from me. I decided to move. Yes, my ex-husband was a part of the reasoning, but if I didn't want to move, if I was like, I'm staying in New York City, then we would have broken up, or he would have moved, or you know what I mean? But I chose to move here. and I chose to make my home here. And no one can take this away from me. So I think I would tell, 23-year-old Sutanya, like, you're going to find your home, the place where you're going to decide to settle. And you will leave. If you ever leave, it's because you want to, not because anyone's ripping it away from you or taking it away from you. And I will tell her that she will not be the youngest creative director in an advertising agency, youngest Black female creative director in an advertising agency, but that's okay. She'll find something else. And I'll tell her that she's going to be all right. I'll tell her she's going to be all right. And she's going to make mistakes along the way, but she's going to be okay. That's it. I mean, nothing profound. What I would love to hear from 55, 60-year-old Sutanya.
Yeah.
That's who I want to hear from.
What do you think she'd say to you?
I don't fucking know. I don't know. I think she would tell me, I don't know. Maybe the same thing, not to worry. Or maybe she will tell me you should have worried more. Or maybe she's going to tell me you have no idea what you're in for these next couple of years. I don't know. But that's what I'd love to hear from.
Yeah. I've done that. By the way, it's a really cool exercise. I've written a letter to myself from my child self. And then I've also written a letter to myself from my 90-year-old self. And it's a powerful
I don't know. I
experience.
Think because there's like, I do want to have kids or a child. And as I'm aging, I'm coming to terms that might not happen.
Yeah.
So then what will my life look like then? And then also, what's going to happen with Dinner for One? Like, what's going to happen with the second book? Like, there's so many. I'm entering, this was chapter 1. I'm entering chapter 2 in many ways, right? Like leaving my 20s and 30s, my young adulthood into my middle age, older adulthood. And like, I kind of felt like I had a path in some ways. Like I did the right thing. Like I got married, I got divorced, but that's okay. Then I had this project and I did this. And I was still very much within the societal norms in terms of like, I was more or less more focused on meeting a partner. As I was building Dinner for One, I still had a, full-time corporate job. I was doing these things. Yeah. And now I've completely, like, I've declared, like, I would like to meet someone, but I'm totally okay as well if I'm single for the rest of my life. I don't have a stable job anymore. I might not have kids. So, like, this next path is so, for me and my family and my expectation of my life is so uncharted and so unknown, but also so exciting. Yeah. And so, feels like it could be very expansive, and it feels like it's going to be full of surprises, good and bad. And I wish I could just like peek into the future a little bit just to see.
Well, you sort of answered it, but what do you think? What party do you think you're headed to?
Fulfillment, satisfaction, country house.
Honestly, see you at the party at the country
party
house.
At the fucking country house.
I know. We've talked about this. It's like obnoxious that I haven't actually gotten to go to a Dinner for One. It's all my fault. Like this trip, like it was this last weekend and I was in London. It's like comically bad.
And when are you leaving again?
I extended, but April 6th.
Oh, okay. Next one's April 11th.
I know. I'm like by fucking 5 days. Of course it is. No, this isn't like watching. Am I going to move my flight to say?
The thing is, here's the thing.
I'll come to Dinner for One at the fucking country house.
Dinner, but also, so, if this tour is, I'm confident this tour will be successful. The plan is to take it on the road to the States. Oh my gosh. So, and I have a friend in LA who's willing to help me like plan it.
I'm in.
If you're still single, you might not be.
I might, we'll see.
If you're still single.
If I'm still single, I'm in.
You have to be at the Dinner for One in LA.
If I'm not single, I know some great ones. I can also help in New York.
Perfect.
But I'm in.
Perfect.
Okay, Dinner for One. But also, I do need a Parisian.
Yeah, you do need. That's the OG.
Like,
that's
I can't not have the OG
that's the,
I got to get in there before you.
That's the VIP experience.
Blow the fuck up and it's like not available to me anymore.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, remember when they were in her apartment?
Do you remember when we were in Sutanya's
apartment? They were the best.
And the door was falling off of the bathroom.
They were like, it's so cool. Like, it's so cool now, but like, you really missed the best
that was
era.
Wow.
And I'm going to just sit there and be like, could have extended my flight fucking 4 days, but.
I mean, I don't know what's in LA, but I guess it's important.
I know. I do need to like go home at some point. My friends are just like, the fuck is she doing?
They can come out here. Paris is for everybody.
That's great. It's easy. I got some good Airbnb recs. Yeah. And a guest room. Yeah. All right, dude.
Okay.
This is so good.
Thank you for having me. This is fun.
Oh my God. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye. Hey guys, it's Sophie. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Late to the Party. Truly getting to have these conversations and share them with you is such a gift. If something in today's episode resonated, I'd love if you followed the show, left a review, or sent it to a friend who might enjoy it too. That's genuinely how this little thing grows, and I'm so grateful you're here. New episodes drop every other Wednesday. You can find me on socials at @SoForGear, and you can follow the show at @LateToTheParty_pod. A huge thank you to the people who make this show possible. Nikki Stein, my brilliant editor, Nick Murphy, my cousin and honorary producer, branding by Lucy Anderson, also my cousin, photos by my dear friend Olivia Pierce with creative direction by Annie Steele, who happens to be my sister-in-law. This is very much a family affair. I appreciate you being here more than you know. Until next time, you're not late, you're right on time.